Welcome to lesson 6 of our complete beginner's guide to website design. By now, you have your core website pages ready: home, about, services, and contacts. But a website is not just about design. It's also about functionality. Now, in this lesson, I will show you how to add useful features like contact forms, maps, social media links, and even WhatsApp chats without writing a single line of code. Now, I'll show you how you can secure your website with plugins. So let's get started. Okay, so here we have our lesson objectives. Now, why does it matter? Okay, because it improves the user's experience, it builds trust and credibility, it drives engagement and conversions. So we're going to be, adding contact forms. Now, I recommended, for example, WP forms, formidable forms, and even Elementor forms are great ones to make use of. All right. So we are going to our WordPress website now, and let's have some practicals. Okay, so over here. So once you've logged into your dashboard, now we want to add WP forms. Now, from our previous class, which was on designing the home page, the about us, the services, and then the contact us form, we've already used the WP forms. But let's say that you want to install WP form. So all you need to do is go to the left-hand side, which is the plugins, and click on add plugins. All right. And over here, you can type in WP form. Oh, so here we have WP forms, easy form builder for WordPress. And as you can see, we have over 6 million active installations. So that shows that it is in active use by users, by a lot of users. So right now, we've already installed and we've activated it, and we are already making use of it. Okay. Now, aside WP forms, I also recommend formidable forms. Here it is. Formidable form has 300,000 plus active installation. Now, this form is a very good tool when it comes to creating all manner of forms, such that you can use it for survey, for quiz, for payment, and for a whole lot. Now, you just need to try it and understand why I say it is one of the best. Okay, when you go over to the left-hand side of your site, here you see WP forms. Now, let's go to all forms. Right, so you can click away. Now, currently, there is a contact form that comes with the form once you install and activate it. But let's say we're going to create a new form. Click on Add New. So let's say we want to have a registration form. So you're going to have registration. Now that's the name, and you can you can generate a form with AI. You can have a blank form, or you can start with a template, which is a simple contact form, where you're going to have just the name, the email address, the comments. But let's say you want to have a blank form. So let's start with a blank form. All right. So right now we have nothing here. Now we're going to start adding fields. So here we have single line, paragraph, line, job, multiple choice, checkbox. We have numbers, name, email, number, slide. So let's say we want the user of the form to put in their name. So click on name, and then you can see that it comes over here. Now we have a name, it could be first name and last name that you want to show. So when you click on it, it shows that, okay, this is the name, and then so that's the field options. Okay, so this is the name. Now, if you want it to be just something simple, that means you have just the name alone. But if you want the first and last name, you can click on this. And if you want the first, middle, and last name, you can have this. So let's say we want the first and just the last name. Then for advanced, you can choose, is it medium? Now, if it is large, you can see that it's going to expand all through. So it depends on what you want. You can also tweak all the placeholder. For example, if I put, so as you can see, we have last name written here. That is a placeholder. Once a user is going to use this form on the site, you want the name to be there, and that's why we have it as required, meaning that the form cannot be submitted until it has been filled. Okay, and that's why you can see this particular symbol there. If you take it out, then you can see it's no longer there. So let's say it is something that we wanted. Now let's go back to adding field. So let's say we want to add phone number. Of course, phone number has to do with numbers. So you can click on this, right? And then when you click on it here, you can have it as required. Then advanced, you want it to be large, right? Now you can do a whole lot with this particular form. You can add a description. So if you want it to be phone numbers, just add as phone number and out this. All right. Then if you want to also collect emails, if you want to collect emails, you come over here. Then here you have email, and drag it and drop it here, and then it's going to load. Right. So email is also required. And if you are interested in creating a checkbox, all right, click on checkbox. So this is an example. Let's say now checkbox is more like you want the user to be able to check on maybe everything in a particular field. So let's say best form plugins, all right? And then when you click on, let's say we have WP forms. We have formidable, and then let's also have Forminator. Here we have a plugin, a form plugin that's called Forminator. It's also a very great tool. All right, so Forminator. Now we're going to test all this. All right, so we've done that. Now let's go to add field. Now let's say we want to create a drop down. So let's drag this here. Let's have a drop down, for example. So we're going to click on the drop down. Let's say we want to have it as something required. Click on required. Right. Then let's say in this case, we want to have a drop down of country. So let's have Canada. Let's have China. And let's have South Africa. Okay. So this is going to appear as a drop-down. And you could decide to classic, we have modern, okay? So let's choose anyone. Okay, let's have it as a large one. Now take note that we could decide to have it placed side by side. Yes, we could have some placed side by side. And for example, if this, for example, has this best form plugins, if you have it as, let's go to advanced, let's have it as, let's put it as 2 columns. Okay, you can put this as 2 columns, depending on what you want. Okay, now let's say it's just 1 column. 1 column. Okay. Okay, now let's look at this, for example. This is email. This email, let's change it to advanced and let's make it, okay, it's on Medium currently. Now for this country, let's put it on Medium. Now let's drag this here. Okay, let's make this small. And let's make this small. And okay, so what else do you want to look into? So you can try a whole lot of things. Now you can also add captcha. Captcha is to make sure that it's not just the form is not being spammed by just any kind of message. So that's why we have captcha there. But when you're going to have a captcha, you have to set it up. You have to have a setup on captcha and then link your site to captcha. So, but then you can just have this. So then you can decide to use multi-choice. Okay, you can use multi-choice, you can choose multiple things at a time. Okay, now this will just give you just one thing. Let's see. So if you're going with multi-choice, it means that you can have more than one thing chosen. But in this first one, you can just have just one option chosen. All right. Now, once you're through, here you have submit button. Now, when you click on settings, you go to general. Under general, now this is your submit button. You're free to change it to whatever you want. I mean, if you like to have it as sent or send, yes, you can change it to send. All right, this is the name of the form. I'll put a description if you choose. Okay, and then submit button processing text, it will show when the person is submitting it. Right, they have some advanced features over here. Then you have the spam detection security here. Okay, more importantly, we have this aspect which talks about the notification. So now send to email address. Now what does this mean? It means that when the person submits or sends the form, which email address does it send? It send the response to. Now, in this case, you can choose site administrator email. What is the site administrator email? Now, there's an email that is that was registered while installing this WordPress. Okay, there's an email address that is registered while installing this WordPress, and that's the site administrator email. But I want you to understand that most of the time, it's always best to use the email of this particular domain name. It makes it easier. It's easier and faster in delivery. All right. But then that does not mean that you cannot add other emails, like adding a Gmail. It is very, very possible. Okay. Then the email subject line, that is the email, that is the title of the email when it delivers to the owner of this particular site. Okay, that's the form name. All right, then we have from, you have a from section, then reply to. So all of this may not be necessary, but it's important to have sent to email address. That is the person you're sending to. It's also good to have this. Okay, to have this and also this. Now, when you over this, now here it says that notifications can only use one from emails. Please do not enter multiple emails. Okay, it's just one from one person. And let's see what we have here. We have entered the email address to receive from entry. Receive from entry notifications. For multiple notifications, separate email addresses with a comma. So if you're going to have more than one email, of course, you should try it and have a comma, and then and put another email there at some.com, put a comma, and then on and on like that. Okay, so then go to confirmation. Once you have submitted it, what do you want the user to see on the front end? Okay, thanks for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly. All right, so that's a good one. That's a good one. And then if you want, you're free to also change it. All right, so that's basically that. And when you're through, you hit the save button. Okay, so it's been saved already. Now you can go back. You can go back by clicking on this exit. All right. Now, most forms actually behave almost the same particular way. So you're going to have, almost have the same pattern. All right. So you can try other types of form. Now, I want us to add this registration form to the front end of the site. So let's create a page. Okay. We're going to call it functionality. We save. And we edit with Elementor. Okay. Let's take out this. All right, so let's click on this. We want to add a form. Now, there are various ways by which you can add your form to the front end of the site. Okay, let's say you're using this. Now, as you can see, every form normally have a kind of short code. So this is the registration form. It has a short code here. So you could use the short code to add it to the front end of the site. And how do you do that? You're going to bring in a plugin. You're going to bring in a widget. Let's type in code. Now, this can be dragged and dropped here. Now, you can drop any code whatsoever. Sometimes you can even have a code for a template. You have a code. You have code for a template, code for almost everything on this site. So let's bring in this code here. Then we drop it here. As you can see, once we dropped it, you see the form. Okay, so let's have it. Okay, it's okay this way. Let's give it some padding at the top. Now at the right and left, let's have something much more. Let's see 200 here, 200 there. And then let's hit the save button. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's view the page. Here you have it. So here we have our phone. So you can enter in our name. Okay, I put in our phone number. And I think we should do a trial. Let's just put in something. So all this has been auto-filled. So you can choose as many as you want, multiple choice as well. Okay, now in this case, you can only choose one. Okay, here you have country, you can choose a country, then you can click send. Let's send. See, thanks for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly. So that's simply how you can create a form on your site. Good. Now we move over to Maps integration. Now, for Map integration, I think we have been able to integrate maps. It helps to, it's useful for businesses with physical locations. You can embed Google Maps directly or use Elementor's Google Map widgets. Okay, so there are also one or two customization that you can do to this. Now, let's move over to social media links. Now, for social media links, we've also touched on it while creating this homepage. Okay, while creating this header page, where we could have the Facebook, the Twitter, the so you can have as many of it there. Okay, but we could use this as an example. So in order to access this, so we could use this as an example, such that let's just look at this as an example. So how do we get here? Let's go over to dashboard, then go to UAE. Now take note that you could add your social media icons to anywhere you basically want it to be on the sites, anywhere. So go to this. So not necessarily those two places where we added them. And sometimes if you want different kinds of social media, even there are some that are floating, you can just go over to your plugin, then you search for floating. Let me quickly show you an example so that you can know that there are various options that are open to you. So if I put in social media, right? So social media share buttons and social sharing icons. Okay, you have a whole lot that you can use over here. But I must emphasize that it could be very may not be so good having several plugins that are doing the same function on a particular site, because it has the potential of slowing down the site. All right, it has the potential of slowing down the site, and speed is so important, because once visitors come on your site and in about 3 seconds, your site is still not loading, the site's attention is on something else and may not even remember that he or she clicked or saw your site in the first instance. So my advocacy will always be to use as minimal plugins as possible on your site. For example, if I have the Elementor plugin already installed on my site, it has virtually everything. So there are some times when if I want So if you now want extra functionality, you can just go for the Pro version of the Elementor. Once in a while, it's going to open up more opportunities or more functions for the site. Now, so having just one plugin can do many things. Is always better than having several other plugins coming in to conflict with other plugins that you have on the site. All right, so here we have, let's go back to our social media. Now, what I want to show you is that, okay, we've added social media. Now, there are a lot of things you can do here. So this is the Facebook. Now, so if you have, so how does this work? If you want to put a social media handle of a particular company or an individual, what you need to do is, okay, let's have an example here. So let me go to, for example, my LinkedIn. All right, so this is my URL. So I just need to copy this, and then I go over to my site, paste it here. This is for LinkedIn. You can paste it here. And like I said, and always ensure that you have it open in a new tab, in a new window. And the essence is so that people will not just move away from your particular page or from your website. That's the essence of this. Okay, then, so that's how you do, that's what you're going to do for each of them. That's YouTube, for Twitter, for Facebook. That's how you can go over to your YouTube account, can copy your URL, a particular URL. Let's see for that of YouTube. Okay, so this is my YouTube. Where you get your code from, you click on this, and then you click on view channel. Right. So once you click on view channel, you're going to see your code here, your URL. Copy it. Okay, then you come over here and you've picked your code, you've picked your URL, and then put it right here. Do not forget, click on this, and then you open a new window. So that's basically what to do. And you can play with the style such that when they hover over the icon, do you want the color to remain as it is, or do you want it to change? Yeah, you can always choose exactly what you want. For example, if you want it to change, you see that? So depending on what you want, you're free to always change it. You're free to always change. So let's publish this. All right, so let's move on and let's go to WhatsApp chat integration. Now, WhatsApp chat integration helps users to easily communicate with the owner of a particular site. Now, it's very, very important because it gives, it makes it easy. Okay, so to communicate with the owner of a particular site, it helps the site owner to get instant information on the site. For example, let's look at this site. All right, so as you can see on the left hand side, you have a WhatsApp chat. When you click on it, and then you can message the owner of the site, and then the owner of the site gets information on his WhatsApp that, okay, there's somebody requesting for something on the site. So let's say, hello. Then I click on this. Now, once you click on it, it will direct the user to WhatsApp so that the user can then start chatting on WhatsApp. So let's quickly create this functionality on this site. Let's start WhatsApp. Now, I must tell you that there are lots of chat integration that we can install on our websites. Sometimes we can have WhatsApp. Sometimes you can have We have Talk2. Talk2 is a very great tool that you can use. We have Tidio, we have WeChat, we have a whole lot of them that have various functions. So WeChat, this WeChat app, we have, like I said, we have Talk2, and a whole lot of them that you can install and have on your site to make it easy. All right, so for this particular video, for this particular tutorial, we're going to be using chat. Click to chat. All right, so we're going to install this. And we're going to activate it. All right, perfect. So now, in order to locate it, you can either go to the left-hand side, as you can see, you have click to chat here, or sometimes, if you don't know exactly what to do, you can go to this click to chat here, and then, if in case you cannot find on the left-hand side, you can go to the plugins where all the plugins have been installed, and then you can find it there. Then you can click on its settings. All right, so it goes over straight to it, and then you know where it is located. So now let's say you want to put a phone number. You can put a phone number there. So let's just put a demo phone number. Now, depending on your country, of course, you can always set the country of your choice. So we have different countries. All right, so let me just put the number there. Okay. Then pre-filled message like hello. Like to know how, so you can make this to be there. Hello. I want more information about this. Okay. Call to action, WhatsApp. Okay. Now we can do *1, *2. So all you can do is you can check any of the styles. Take some time to check any of the styles. So let's just stick with *2. All right. Position, when it's fixed, of course, it can be fixed. And what is position exactly? On the bottom to the right. Okay, so you can have it on the right. That's going to be the side, the e.g. 10 pixel. This one is going to be 15 pixel, right? Mobile, and we don't need to show on both of them. So what else? We have desktop, we have mobile, we have all this. So we want it to be seen on desktop, mobile, and going to be showing on tablet as well. But if you do not want it to show, of course, you can remove it. And then if you don't want it to show on certain places, if you don't want to show on posts, it's something that you can always take out. You can just click on hide. If you don't want it to show on posts, you just want it to show on pages. So this makes it even better, right? And then all of these settings can be, so once you're through, now let me show you the sites before we add that functionality. So let me refresh this. Okay, now funny enough, it's already showing there because we installed it already. But so let's click on save changes. Okay, so right now it is fully functional. So as you can see, so once the user clicks on it, okay, it says no number found. So just a second. Okay. So once you click on it, it's just going to redirect to the WhatsApp that has been put behind the site, that has been put on the backend. So that's basically what it means, to have that installed on your site. So let's cancel, then let's click away. Now, don't forget, like I said, that there are so many other plugins that you can add on your site that can be used to chat with the owner of the site. It's very, very good to, a 21st century, a modern day website will have that. It's so It's so important to be able to chat with, to be able to get real-time information from the company, especially if you are running an e-commerce website where a user needs to find out about, oh, is this available? Yes or no? All right, then we're going to talk about adding security on your site. Now, of course, security is very, very important on your site because WordPress is a very good tool, even though it is prone to easy attack by hackers. Okay, there are a number of backend loops that a new beginner does not really know how to close. So it's important to have some security measures on your site. If not, you can wake up one morning and find that the whole of your site is gone, and it becomes uneasy to recover it because you did not even have a backup, or you did not do the necessary things to ensure that you can easily get it back. So now I'm going to be showing you some to be setting up some security plugins on this site, even though they only give you some of the features for free. It's much more better to have the paid version of your site. All right. So take note that in order not to have a problem with your site, it's good to have it backed up. So you should know how to back up your site, how to bring it back, how to install it in case, and then you should also have how to put a security. So let's just put in security over here. All right, so we're going to be using two main plugins here. I'm going to install WordFence Security. And as you can see, 5+ million user active installations. This is also very, very useful. Then I'm going to use Sucuri, that's 700,000. Now, let me tell you a little about this two. WordFence Security. The free version will give you updates on a user that is trying to log in into your site. I mean, once someone is trying to get into your site, it sends an email to the administrator email that so person is trying to come into your site. So, I mean, if of course you're not asleep, all you need to do is to quickly go back to your site and see what's happening. But then, of course, you know that it's not the time that you are all the free, you are so alert. Okay, so that's where they come in. All right. Sucuri also has a line of security where it helps to defend and then to hold back your site from hackers and other things. Okay, so let's go over to install plugins. I want us to activate these two security plugins. Right, so I click on Sucuri and then WordFence. Now, you could use just one, but I'm going to use the two on this particular site just for demo purpose. So I'm going to activate it. Okay, perfect. Now, we want to, so let's start. So both of them have been installed on this site. So over here, we have WordFence, and over here we have Sucuri. Now let's set up our WordFence. So for us to secure it, we need to get a WordFence license. So click on this, and then it's going to redirect to their sites. Okay, now we have get a free license. You buy one, you buy now, or you buy now. We have the premium care and response, and you can see the additional features that they all have. All right, so for this particular tutorial, we're going to use the free license. Okay, so let's click on get a free license. I would like real-time protection. Now, if you want a real-time protection, then that means that you're going to need to pay. Now, but I'm okay waiting 30 days for protection from new threats. I'm okay, so I'll click on this. Now, I'm going to put in an email address. So let me put in this. I like WordPress security and vulnerability alerts sent to my email. Yes, I've read. Okay, then I'll click on this. Then I'm going to check the email that I put. All right, so I'm going to check my email. And then when I check my email, I'm going to copy the security, what has been sent. Okay, so this is the WordFence, and then I'm going to copy this. Of course, you can click on install my license automatically as well. But let me show you for that of adding the. So now let's go back to the site. This is the site. Then we've gotten this license. Click on install an existing license. Then put the email address that we use. Then put the license key. No, you're true. Oh. So let me put again the fits, and then put the license. Then click on yes, and install. All right, so free license installed. Congratulations. WordFence is now active on your site. So we'll go to dashboard. All right, so this is the WordFence dashboard. And I want to show you how you can start managing this. So this talks about the firewall, scanning. All right, so you can come over here to scan. You can scan the sites by coming over here. All right, so I'm going to show you one or two things to do. So you can start a new scan, and this will scan the entire site, and it will show you some where there is a malware and password strength. You have to wait for some minutes for this to be properly done. So it's something that you can always try, and then you can try other things over here on some tools. If you have the paid plugin, it offers more functionality. So sometimes when you scan, it's going to show you, I mean, when you suspect that, okay, there is a malware on your site, it's going to show you, sometimes it's going to show you where it is. And then you may have to go to the cPanel and look for how you can remove it. Or even from here, it could also remove it, but sometimes you need to be very sure that it is a malware that you're trying to remove. All right, so that's just an overview of WordFence. So let's check on this login security. Yeah, so you can also set up a 2FA with it. Yeah, it's very, very possible. It makes it even difficult for just anyone to come into your site. So it's a very good security plugin. Now let's go back to Sucuri. Let's see what it offers. So this is Sucuri. All right. Sucuri is a very, very good one as well. So here is Sucuri. You have the firewall management. Okay. Okay, so most times I use this hardening and prevention first. I apply all of this. Yes, I apply all of this on my sites to protect it. You know, if you click on apply disable plugin and this, so you can apply this. So these are some enable website firewall protection. You can apply hardening of this. And click on this. Now, I must tell you that having all this, applying all of this does not mean that your site is already fully protected. This just gives it a partial protection So like I said, because I understand when one is faced with infiltrations from those that are trying to get into your sites. You understand that this does not even give all the protection that you need, but this just gives you, like, alerts you that okay, something is happening on your site. So just go over some of this, and you can just check it out. You can check everything out. Okay, so think of security plugins as your website's bodyguard, working 24/7 while you sleep. Okay, that's what all these security plugins, that's what they do. So today we added functionality without coding. You put a contact form, put a map, put social media, WhatsApp chats, and basic security. Now these features make your website practical, professional, and safe. This is what we've been able to do for today. So in our next lesson, I'm going to be introducing you to online stores and how you can set up a WooCommerce plugin and have it functional on your site as though you want to sell, you want to start selling a product.